few years ago, I was conducting a triennial evaluation on a student with autism in one of our regional programs that was in actually one of our city schools. I started by observing the student in his regular classroom with his special education teacher. And while I was in there, she happened to show me some charts and things on the wall that showed sort of a scope and sequence of skills they were working on. I looked over it, glanced at it, but didn't really pay much attention to it. It looked very complicated, very detailed, but thorough at the same time. Observed for a little bit, left, took the student with me to the conference room, and began my testing. Anybody that's familiar with working with students with autism, you don't always get responses that you need. But during this particular administration, he was able to point and respond and complete everything that I needed him to do. And that ensured a standardized administration and gave me valid results. Fast forward to our eligibility meeting a couple weeks later, and I was reporting my behavioral observations and that my results were valid while my director was in the meeting, and he happened to mention, well, maybe it's the CLM instruction that has given him these participation skills. I considered it for a moment, not knowing much about CLM, and then moved on with the rest of the report. A little while later, my director sends me a chapter in a book and asks me to read it. Think about it, just look it over. It's good stuff, he says. It's really good stuff. You need to check it out. So I did, thought about it, sounds great. We're very busy. We don't have time as psychologists to involve ourselves in that. A little while later, I'm observing kids in my building where we've established a CLM program, and I'm seeing tremendous improvement in some behavioral difficulties that we had with a couple of kids. Get a little more interested in it, attend a brief workshop on what it is, what it's all about, commit to my director that I would give it a try, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made as far as my career. It has allowed me to grow professionally in ways that I don't think I would have been able to otherwise. I have a better functional understanding of behavioral intervention, not only in the special education room, but in my regular education room. I can now go into a room and I can say, we need some problem solver skills. We need some participator skills. This is not a preferred activity. We've got to turn it around. We've got to add some value for this child. It's given me a language to talk with my teachers. It's given me visibility. It's given me a functional language. I'm not just a psychologist that's sort of removed from the day-to-day setting. I can now come in and I'm there a lot and I see lots of what's going on a day-to-day basis. It gives me a common language to speak to my teachers. I have more practical interventions, more practical ideas. I have a better understanding of truly what the function of a child's behavior is and how to turn it around and how to make it different. I still have a lot to learn. I still feel terribly confused by a lot of it, but it has been an amazing experience this year, being new to it. It has been an amazing experience this year, watching my teachers in the classrooms, watching them grow, growing with them, watching the improvement my kids have made. I recently did a triennial on a student that I also did his initial when he was in our preschool program, and actually our case study, Ben. And the difference in his cooperation and compliance and perseverance was amazing. I didn't have to coerce him into completing. All I had to do was say, let's try it, buddy, let's try it. And he had some of those problem solver skills to look at me and say, it's too hard, I can't do this is too hard. And then he persevered with a little bit of encouragement and continued even though it was hard. So for that, CLM makes a big difference in the lives of kiddos and my life as a professional, and I'm very happy that it's a part of my daily life now and look forward to continuing that professional development.